Good morning! Guess what time it is? It's, that's the right button. It's Steven's not here on time. How is everyone today? It's... Oh my god, is it Thursday already? It's Thursday already. I am not thrilled about that. Because on Tuesday we didn't get a whole lot of work done because the noise was so loud. Like, kind of ridiculously loud in my studio. And I was at the research stage of my next painting, and I just couldn't focus because it was like... It sounds like a helicopter landing. If you've ever been close to one, like, flying overhead, that, like, the whoop, 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 and, like, it was, like, right here in my ear. So I spent the day playing Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild. Zelda Twilight Princess said Breath of the Wild tomorrow, so then I immediately thought that. I played Red Dead on Tuesday. Jill says, do you have noise-canceling headphones? I don't. It was loud. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, it was a little quieter in the living room compared to my studio because they were in our front yard. And, yeah, so I was in the living room most of the day. And then yesterday, we had realized that I skipped the Catalina update for my iMac because, when resources are they done? They're not done. They weren't there yesterday, but they left a bunch of stuff. So they're not done yet. So there will be another day of them. So yeah, yesterday we had to update my iMac, so that sat and updated all day. But I was dealing with some other stuff yesterday, so... Hi.
Thank you, I needed room.
Do not hit the coffee.
I'm not. I slowed my velocity.
Good.
Morning, folks. I heard that you were telling folks that you...
Couldn't work on Tuesday because of how loud it was, and then yesterday I updated my iMac.
Yeah.
Which required, like, backing everything up, and then, like, also duplicating it somewhere else, so it wasn't just in one spot.
Yeah, we didn't...
And then updating?
Yeah, we updated it to Big Sur,
Yeah.
because you, at this point, you wouldn't go to Catalina. That'd
No.
be strange. And I've read a lot of, I've read a lot of things about it. Oh, hey. What?
I
What?
love that.
Hold on. Chaz, did you have Thomas... Did you have Thomas record that just for that? What? Oh my god. Of course.
It's perfect.
Man,
the perfect replacement.
Thomas says, I'm an actor.
It's a perfect replacement.
Wow. I'm really in the holiday. I'm in the holiday spirit. It's happened. I really like.
You want to put up a tree and lights?
I don't know if I'm that in the spirit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, throughout this entire year, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel real festive. By the time we get down to December, and you know, I do. That helps. That was from Mr. Game Boy 18, 4,000 bits. No one did this last time, so let's find out if this is different together. Also, how do I send you a game if I want to give it to you as an option for first 20? Send it to Jam and leave it to them. I think the way that we found is the best way of doing it is if you get something on Humble and you choose an email recipient, you can send it my way. I think that's what folks decided was the easiest route. Because I don't think you can send things to an email address via Steam anymore. I think you can only do it if you're, like, personal friends with the person. I think. So Humble or any site that uses email recipients is now the best way of doing that, I think. Pretty sure. At least that's how things have gone, like, in the past, so. Alright, Mr. Game Boy, thank you for exposing all of us to winking Santa Thomas. I'm excited. We had
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
that was one of the changes we made. We thought on Tuesday, we were like, oh, that's a lot of screaming for the entire month of December. So now it's a percentage chance. It's like the same thing with Demon Clown. So I don't know what Chaz put the percentage chance as, but there is a chance that that quote will get finished with the whole Santa part. Chaz says it's low. So over the course of the month, you'll end up hearing it a few times naturally, but it will not be every time, because we thought, people might get a little weird out from the holiday spirit by the time we get mid-December. So, delicious hot grits. Haven't heard that in a while either. 1550 from Mr. Game Boy says, follow game question. If something has a timed release on PlayStation, then Epic Games, then Steam, which system would you want it? It doesn't really matter. I use and have used all of those platforms, so it doesn't actually matter. I can play games at a higher resolution on the PC, so either Epic or Steam is totally fine, I guess. But also, people have sent PlayStation either physical games or codes before, and I've been able to do those just fine too. So, not really, I really don't have a preference. Like, we can play the video games, and however they get here, we play them, basically. We have avocado toast this morning. It's the last avocados we have. We picked up a few when we went out.
They were on sale too.
Yeah, we picked up a few when we went to get some groceries a few days ago. Dude, Troy says, "Is that warm avocado toast?" Mine is, yes. Yes, it is. It's hot toast with hot avocado. I know that bothers people on a very visceral, deep level. Don't care. Now, Mouse is cold. Mouse is normal, but yep, mine's microwaved. I like it warm. I just do. I can't tell you why. I just like hot food, and this counts as hot food. Yeah. Mech reminded me. There's I had read in the news about some issues with Big Sur. Most of the issues seem to be related to older MacBook Pros, so nothing that would affect us. But then there were also a few reports that were talking about some other, models for the Macs, and I was like, okay, we should probably just really, really make sure everything's fine. So we had updated Mao's Time Machine. And then on top of that, in the event anything went wrong at all, and Mao would have to, move over to using my MacBook for a day or two while I fix things, I took the entire contents of her internal hard drive from the iMac and copied them over to her RAID, so she could just plug the RAID right into the MacBook in case there was any problems. But then there was no problems. It worked, and worked the first time, and I was like, okay. But I was worried, because the problem is, you read about some problems in news articles, and you're like, ugh, I better dig into that. Then you dig into it.
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
You dig into it, and then you find help articles and stuff where folks are posting about their problems, and no one's posting about the good. Like, no one's going to a forum topic just to talk about how their upgrade went perfectly. No one's going to do that. So, of course, it was going to be a lot of folks being like, "Oh, things are broken," but it worked. I still have to do it for like the laptop and eventually the iMac, but like
10 a.m. Santa's
not yet.
coming
Not yet.
Hi, sweet kid.
Anyway, good job finishing your toast.
Thank you. That was good.
I'm gonna finish mine.
It is cold this morning. What was the house set at when you went and turned up the heat?
It was 61.
It was cold inside. It was very cold.
I mean, I didn't set the house to 61.
Oh, I know. It just got that cold because of how cold it was outside.
Yeah, I didn't turn the heat on last night. I was like, I want it to be...
It was kind of nice
cold.
because, like, sometimes with what we keep it at, I get too hot at night. Not every night, but some nights I get too hot.
I don't know that
So
that's...
it was nice to stay in bed when it was warm.
My sleep temperature, and by association, like our sleep temperature, is 67.
Yeah.
Like, I put the house to 60. I put the house to 67, and that's what I sleep at. 68 degrees is too warm. There's a toss-up that I'll wake up. 69 or 70 degrees, I will wake up. Why is it 67? Don't know. But it's apparent. It's very. I've learned over the years. It's 67 degrees. So.
I think Kepi has learned that the house gets warmer when we wake up. And well, he was real excited when we got up today. He was making so many biscuits. I bought one of those like self-heating pet beds that goes in like the bottom of a kennel.
Yeah.
And it just kind of reflects, the dog or the cat's body heat back towards it, so it keeps it a bit warmer. And I put it on our bed, and he just loves it. And this morning he was on it, just kneading his claws into it, just left and right, and just so happy.
My rules for existing in the house: sleep at 67, awake in the day at 72. That's the temperature.
Sometimes we turn it down more when it's real hot here.
I mean, it can
Because of how hot it gets upstairs.
It can wiggle a little bit, but
Yeah.
72 is about what I like to keep it at, just throughout the day.
10 a.m.
You know,
Santa's coming in.
if I keep it at that, and I wake up in the morning and it's a little colder, like and it's going to take a long time to warm up. Sometimes I'll wear a jacket, but if it's real cold, I'll just turn the heat on. Basically. So.
One of my former coworkers, I was just talking to her last week. She said she bought one of those dome heated pet beds for her cats. And she said she bought one and she has 3 cats. And she said they were all fighting over it, so she had to then get a second one because 2 cats will share, but the other one won't. So now she has 2 of them.
I feel like a cat would like that.
Yeah.
Wonder how he would do.
Oh, he would love it.
Is it big enough for him?
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times I see little things for pets, and I'm like, that's for a tiny cat.
Well, I looked up how big it was and, like, how many, like, because it's like, well, like sometimes it's like an 8 to 10 pound cat. This was, like, up to, like, 25, so.
Oh.
He'd be fine. I think he would like it. Satsy says, it'll fit Kepi, but his tail, that's another matter. Yeah, his, like...
He'll need a separate one for his tail.
His tail is, like, over a foot long.
He got the long tail.
He does. One time he sat still and I got to measure it.
Oh boy.
It was longer than the ruler I had. Was that good?
It was. And like, you know what the big thing for me is? I mean, avocado's like good for you, but also there's something mental about eating like green food. You know, I don't know if other people have this, but like, especially if you go like a day or two or a few days where you don't eat like, you may not eat like just great food. It's not necessarily that you're just snacking or eating junk food, but you're eating, you know.
Heavy Thanksgiving food?
I mean, that'll, you know, that'll do it too. But like every once in a while, I'm just like, I gotta have something green. Whether that's avocado or broccoli or salad or like I have
Spinach.
to have
We're having
or
spinach tonight.
Yeah, like I gotta have something green. I don't know if it's if it just plays in my head or what, but it's something. 8 at a time. Probably shouldn't eat 8 avocado at a time.
It's a lot.
I mean, I eat 1. Gaber says avocados are gross though. I agreed with you until about a year ago. Maybe a year? Maybe a year. Because you know, for the longest time I didn't like avocado. I really didn't. And then I just kept trying it, and it did eventually grow on me. Because I grew up and my mom really loved avocado. And I would try it, and I was like, nah. Brandon says you agreed until you microwaved. Man, I don't know if you're right. My mom microwaved them too, didn't she?
I don't know. She's watching. She'll answer.
Now I'm not sure. My mom's like me. Or I guess, really, I'm like my mom. She microwaves stuff too. Things that would make a lot of people go, no. So that actually, she may have microwaved that too, so I don't know.
Hey, kitty.
I don't remember now.
You want to snuggle? You want to snuggle? You snuggle with me? Oh, you're purring. Is it because you know it's snuggle time?
It's snuggle time. All right, let's
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
I don't know what the chances. It's just really low. All right, let's read some alerts. We got a tier 2 sub from Ann the Banan. Thank you for a gold sub. 5 months from Perhaps Mumbo, who says, yahaha. 25 months from Josh A. Brom, who says, it's been 25 years. Check notes. No? Months? That doesn't seem right. Since this year is the longest ever. Shrugs. Agreed. Longest year ever, although simultaneously, in some ways, the fastest year ever. Specifically, like the last, 6 months? 5 to 6 months are just like a one blur. I was going to then reference a Blur song and forgot all of them.
Did you see what Jules said?
Just forgot all of them immediately. Something in the country. Every time I tell people I microwave my coffee, they freak out and think I make it like that and am not reheating it.
I was very concerned when I would find a lot of coffee around during Coliseum that had gotten cold. And then Jules would come in and microwave it and be like, coffee.
There was coffee that we found at Coliseum that had in the pot that had clearly been there a long time. And I poured.
You're calling him out on that now.
I mean, I don't. Well, yeah, I guess I am. It's either him or Jack or both. But there was definitely times in the evening that, I picked up the carafe and I was like, "Oh, there's a lot of coffee in this, and there is no way that someone made this at 11 p.m." And I would just pour myself a cup, and I'd be like, "Yep, this has been here all day," and I drank it. It's fine. I don't have a huge problem with that. But yeah, if it's been sitting out, do I microwave it? Yes, absolutely.
My aunt does that.
So as an example, I always I always finish my coffee and my food on breakfast stream. Always. And if I don't finish it on stream, I finish it right after. So there's occasions where, you know, I may not finish my coffee, may not finish my food. But as soon as I'm done, I'll go downstairs, microwave coffee, I guess microwave food. So, planning on drinking stream. Well, sorry I finished your coffee. Or drank some of it or whatever. It's fine. Coffee is something to be enjoyed, but also at times, and sometimes at the same time, it is utilitarian. It is. It's just... I need to feel. That's okay. 22 months from Hugplex 20. 22-month anniversary. Cool. 500 bits from Kazuyumi. Let's start giving some emotes in chat. Hashtag hindsight 2020. Yeah, there's a... you know, every few months Twitch is doing some sort of... thing. Brian's got the deets. Till December 16th, unlock the first batch of Hindsight 2020 emotes for you in the community by cheering 300 plus bits, subbing, or gift subbing. It's another thing where you unlock permanent emotes. So, just by being here, you will probably get some emotes. So that's good. And then if you give bits or subs or gift subs, you also will get emotes. Anyway, it's great that you're all here. You'll probably walk away with permanent emotes courtesy of Twitch. 7 months from White 15 Wolf. Yay, 7 months. Can't think of anything funny today, so I'll just say thanks for being awesome grandparents. Thank you, White Wolf. We're, you know, we're doing our best. Good Games Done Casual gives a sub to Winter Felsi Bunny. And an anonymous gifter gives a sub to Hutaba. 14 months from Uchi Plays and says, hey, grandparents, can't believe that it's been 14 months already. Time flies. I mean, we were talking about how even the folks that subbed at the very beginning are now hitting 27, 28. It's getting up there. It's surprising to us as well. 15 months from Aldo says, I was going to... Fosdick says 27. 27. I was going to write about how this would be probably be my last sub for a while because my job was getting rid of seasonal staff. But today I found out that they're keeping me on. Also 15. No, it doesn't feel right.
Congratulations, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's good news. That's really good news. And hey, one more month until you get to say the phrase that makes the most sense. At some, you know, I almost feel like to some extent we're now getting further removed from the 16, like its original thing, because that was like 2 years ago, Extra Life, right? Mm-hmm. So it's now been a while. Okay, yeah, my mom says, I like my avocado warm on toast, but guacamole cold in taco salads.
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
So, there you go. Warm on toast, cold as guacamole in taco salad. My mom loves taco salads. She really does.
And she does, obviously, like black beans or pinto. Or fish tacos.
Yeah, my mom's a vegetarian or pescatarian. You want to get specific, so never does
pork, beef, or chicken.
Yeah, does beans or something. We get 10 months from Samurolean, who says 10 months, gonna try and sit with the stream on while working on a unit report that's due in tomorrow, hoping that this will help me relax about it. This is good music for that. It's kind of. Hopefully you'll be able to get that done. I admittedly have issues trying to write things with... Well, actually, I think I would probably do better with something like Breakfast Stream going than I do with music. If I'm listening to music with lyrics, I find it very hard to, like, write things. This alert's not a great example of getting a report done. Like, if I'm listening to...
Did you look at that?
If I'm listening to something like Carlos, right? Jules would be a harder stretch, because Jules is metal. Sorry, Jules. But if I'm listening to, for the most part, something that's instrumental, I can write things. But as soon as there's lyrics, I'm immediately like, It gets much harder for me to focus and write. So anyone that can do that, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you don't, in the middle of writing, start writing out the lyrics that you're listening to. Basically. Simmerolian says, I've written a good 3 or 4 paragraphs, so it's definitely working. Awesome. And you haven't written about, like, warm avocado accidentally in the report? As long as you haven't, then it's working. So I guess continue the good work. We got 300 bits from Anne, who says, new stove arrived just after breakfast stream on Tuesday, and it works great. Broke it in by baking cranberry 3-grain scones, now munching some of them with my team tea. Well, that sounds good. I haven't had a scone in forever. Also, Jules is great. Jules, there's just a little smack. It's fine. You're good. You know what, and this is kind of a bizarre example, but it's one of my fondest memories of a scone, is whenever we were with Dan in Jacksonville.
Oh, at that one place.
And that one, it was like a French bakery or something. I don't remember the specifics now, but I remember having a scone and it like sticking out in my head really strongly, like, this is very good.
One time Dan brought me a scone back from there.
Dan is very thoughtful.
Dan is super thoughtful.
Dan is
one of those really good
gift givers.
Yep. Like, he always has the best ideas.
I don't know how he does it. He just, I don't know, man. He's very good at what, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, Thomas said my favorite scone memory was not something I expected today.
If I can remember, I will try and title this breakfast stream My Favorite Scone Memory. Because I love the idea of someone stumbling across breakfast stream and seeing a 90-plus minute video called My Favorite Scone Memory and going, what's going on there? And then promptly never clicking on it and being like, not going down that road. That's...
Anyway, Dan, like, every time Dan has given either of us a gift, it's just, like, super thoughtful. Like, either he's paid attention to something that we've said, or he just had a really good idea, knowing we would like something.
Yeah, it's funny, because Mal and I were actually discussing this last night.
Yeah.
We were in bed, and we were talking about something, and then that came up, and I was like, he is good. And I was like, he's just a really good gift giver. I was like, he is. He is. And I don't know. Good for Dan. 16 months from Bored Turtle says, garlic bread. That is all. Fair. Haven't had that in a while. 8 months from Charlemagne, 25. Almost the triple plus. 13 months at tier 2 gold toast from Superior LP. 13 months. Amazing how the time flies. Thank you for everything you do, and here's to a happy holiday and new year for you and yours. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're it's probably a little early to announce because we don't have like specifics quite yet. But we're throwing around the idea. You know about this.
Oh, okay.
You will not be caught off guard.
Okay.
We're throwing around the idea of doing a New Year's Eve stream. Partially because there won't be a Christmas stream. So, no details on that other than, are you doing anything on New Year's Eve? No? You might be joining us. Oh, Brandon. Mal, wondering if she'll feel like the moms. I'd like to believe that I tell you guys about things a little, not all the time. Not all the time. Also, sometimes you don't. Well, sometimes I tell Chaz, and then that's in my brain. I'm like, I did it. I told someone. They know. And then that's it. And like, obviously it's not Chaz's responsibility to then relay that to the mod team. So I'm like, I told Chaz. That's it.
Yep.
Like, that happens so often where I'm like, I told Chaz. And then I just forget. Thomas says, classic upper management. All I'm saying is, really, Chaz should be telling you these things. I just think that, in the future, Chaz will just have to do a better job of letting all of you know. I'm too stupid to remember. I'm sorry. It's just the way it
8 a.m. Santa's coming.
Chaz is gonna have to make a script that appears next to whenever I send a message that he can just hit a button and it just passes it on to all the mods. He'll be like, "Yep, that's information they need," and he just hits a button. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, but we'll try and make that a. We'll try and make this a better habit for 2021. We'll try.
Tiger says, "Don't you have a group chat for yourself and mods?" And Brandon goes, "Oh, we do."
Yeah, that's the worst part. It's not like there's not structure for this. We have the structure in place. It's fine. It's fine. We're working on it. We got 23 months from Vaughn K to get 25. 2 months until Golden's up there. And then I guess 1 month till 2 years. 27 months from Tachi Gamer 96. It says crunch time. Kind of crunch. I mean, it was toast. It just, it gets squishy after the avocado.
Like pizza? Squishy pizza?
Oh, yeah. I was like, pizza's not crunchy. We bought those, by the way. We bought them. We were talking about pizza rolls the other day.
Yeah, it was in the vlog.
Santa's coming.
And we bought them. So they're in our freezer. I don't know. I don't know when we're going to eat them. There's some level of guilt about even having them. Because, I know they're not good for you. Like, when you look at the nutritional facts, there's just a picture of a laughing face. It's like, haha, good try. But I do want them. The key is to not, eat a ton of them. And as a kid, I very much remember, overdoing it. But I was like a teenager. When you're a teenager, you can just consume everything.
Maybe, we have some...
Because I definitely recall eating 30
We have some romaine
or
lettuce
more at a time.
right now. Maybe we should have, romaine lettuce as a side and just, a couple pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls? And salad?
Yes. Not together. Separate, but
But at the same time, that's together. Lettuce wrapped pizza. That's a good way to ruin two things. That's how you... It's just ruining both things you're trying to eat. I really hate that phrase, lettuce wrapped pizza roll.
Well, we're supposed to have enchiladas tonight. Because I made some for Extra Life, and I really liked them. But it takes a while.
Well, there's stuff that's going to go bad that we have to eat. Someone was asking earlier if we ended up finishing Thanksgiving food. And, no.
There's too much of it. And
we finished most of it.
Yeah.
But there's still a few carrots, a little green bean casserole, a tiny bit of turkey, and a lot of peas. Why were there so many peas?
There were 2 containers.
There are so many peas. Anyway, yeah, it's been a week today. So,
yeah,
I don't know how long we have until things are gonna, make us sick. We could probably eat stuff today. But, at a certain point, you do start to wonder, can I eat this? But really, if we were to make, a little plate of it, it'd just almost entirely be peas. I mean, I like peas. Sachi says freeze the peas. That's a question, though. Do we want the peas later? I don't know. Maybe I'll just have a big old scoop of peas for lunch. Maybe. 7 months from,
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
Nope. From Nilla Thunder, who says, crunch. 14 months from Platinum Pikachu. Yay for 14 months. By the way, did anyone else laugh or wince at both Stephen and Mal's pronouncing cavalry as cavalry in a recent Pikmin episode that's nowhere near as hard of a word as thermodynamics? Oh, yeah. That's a nuclear situation where that's commonly said both ways. It's not that both are right, but I can see us doing that. I can see anyone doing that for what it's worth. I'm not gonna. That's like that's one that won't count as like a complete mispronunciation. There's words that it's like I just don't know how to say it. But that's one where it's like, that's a toss up. I might say cavalry. I might say Calvary. Although I don't get nuclear wrong. I say nuclear. Rotisserie. Who can say? That was a very specific throwdown to one viewer. Thomas says, say water. You mean water? Throw down to the same viewer. Vegetable Sorbet gifted some subs to Ginger Tail as well as Tipsy Taj. Thank you both. And also, I've seen some gifts. I haven't called them all out. But we just had a milk bomb there from Adzils. Thank you, Adzils. 5 subs. I'll go ahead and read these. To Just a Mosquito, Oracle BTA, Mr. Spartan 666, Lone Wolf Chan, and Jadactillion. I think I got that all right. Adzils, thank you. I appreciate that. We got 26 months from Sybe, who just says, woo. 666 bits from Nixelpad says, haven't seen enough toast this year for it being 2020. And I guess now you didn't because we have the Die Hard alert in instead. Anywho, I'm staying at my friend's place this whole week. And on Tuesday, my friend got a cute kitty from an animal shelter. He got just the one, but her name is Artemis Fortuna. And she's a cute fuzzball. She looks like one of the dust mites from Spirited Away. Oh, that's cute. New kitties are great. New kitties, new puppies, new animals of any kind. I'm sorry you don't get your toast. This toast won't be up until the beginning of next year. But I hope you enjoy machine guns. Since it's currently a machine gun. We had another 5 subs from Elfie Goldfish. Thank you. Snowy April, Captain Ricky, Red Cinder, Van the Tokamon, and Venu KKGN. Elfie, thank you. Lots of milk bombs. And there was at least 1 or 2 in there that I missed. Yeah. I see. I'm just gonna jump down to it and read it now. We had 5 gift subs from Arpiga to Do I Make You Randy? I see Wiener. Ashstar99, Malignant Humor. Read that wrong too. Just Call Me Core and The Techie Man. Arpiga, thank you. The Randy ones really got me. You know, we watched all of those movies at some point.
Yeah, that was when we lived in Colombia.
Hey!
It finished that time.
It's like Will Ferrell's been holding it in. Finally managed to get it out. Like I said, there's a chance. It's a low chance. There's a chance. Yeah, we watched all of the
Austin Powers.
I kept thinking Austin Wilfords. And I was like, it's not Austin Wilfords. I was like, I think it's Austin, but what's the last word? Powers. What could Wilfords even be? There's Wilford.
I have no
there's
idea.
Wilford Brimley. Austin Wilfords. Anyway,
Continue.
Danny gifted a sub to T.S. Jonte. Thank you, Danny. Get Thomas that gift sub. We also got 300 bits from DC Racers. Says, Buenos dias, grandparents. I'm back after a 2-week break from classes and from my mental health. Spent it doing some hunting and spending time with my family. Your good vibes helped me make a 4.0 this semester and continue in mechanics and engineering administration. Thank you all, and good vibes.
Congrats on the 4.0.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that it's from good vibes as much as you want, but you definitely put in the work in order to pull that off. The more syllables in your education, the more impressive that it is to me. So making a 4.0 in continuum mechanics, should I include the and engineering administration. Jesus, 17? Is that 17 syllables? Did I count that out right? Kale says it's because film only has one syllable. DC Racer, an intellectual. Me, a simpleton. In a world where people are judged based on the syllables in their education. Jules says, I have 8. Classical guitar performance. I mean, that one's better than guitarist. If your official, degree was classical guitar performance, what's my degree say?
Film and television.
Yeah, I have a BFA in film and television specifically, so film and television. 6. Hey, 6! With a focus in video editing. See, it's not that bad. It's Brandon says I stopped counting at 20 for mine. I like the idea of mine being film. It's like 1, that's it. Just 1. Just 1. Whatever. 5 months from Schumann. Thank you, Schumann. 300 bits from Nixelpad. Artemis is looking adorable, purring and sitting in my lap while we watch y'all together. Merry chaos and happy new fear. That last bit is what we call anxiety. It's fair. It's fair. Everyone has anxiety to some extent. And I think this year more people than ever can relate. At any given time, they're like, I understand. I understand. We got a sub also from Moogle Hearts. Welcome. Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh. You did a breathe.
8 a.m. Santa's coming in.
Not that you don't breathe normally. I've definitely heard you breathe before.
Maybe.
There was a slight pause, and I was like, oh, she wanted to say something. Why you always breathing? Why you always breathing? Oh my God. 27 months from Fossix. So would this be my 3rd Twitch baby after my twins? Anyway, it's been a while since I watched Breakfast Stream Live. Yes! Yes, but maybe you want to invest in a puppy or something. You could do a puppy.
If you want.
If you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can just keep foregoing children, and then at some point, just get a lot of puppies, or every 9 months you get something. That's just the rules.
Wait.
Oh my God. Well, this explains this. Mom says, funny thing about the peas. When we heated up dinner Friday night, Dad said, where are the peas? I looked and there was no peas. I said I divided up the leftovers, but we must have put our peas in their box. So no peas for you, Steve. That's why you had so many. I tried, but I mixed it up. That's why. We had two containers of peas. And we finished our container of peas, and I was like, why was there so many peas? But there's another container of peas. And I was like, I just didn't feel like there was that many. Oh boy, sing about words you commonly mispronounce. Sure.
Stephen mispronounces words.
I get stuck in the sticks.
Draft is one of them.
And also thermodynamics.
Cavalry is another, I guess.
Syllables, there's a lot.
You can't say bubbler.
I can't say things where snot. Oh, hi-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di-dee-di. Really caught off guard by the syllables. God, syllables, man. If I hadn't already concluded that today would be called my favorite scone memory. Syllables got me all riled up this morning. In my brain, that phrase worked, and then I started to say it to the right thing, and I realized there was an extra syllable. I was like, ah. Is that a phrase folks use? All riled up? Is that like a? I don't. Maybe that's a Southernism. I'm not sure.
I mean, I feel like I've said, like, Kepler's riled up, but not like all riled up.
Well, Spiffle hears it in Canada. Okay.
You said something like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I've never heard that.
Well, if you don't know what it is, I don't. So, if you remember what it is, then I'll agree with you.
I don't remember.
Can't help you. That was 5,000 from Ryan B06. It says, sing about words you commonly mispronounce.
Draft.
Yeah. Although I think at this point it's probably a...
You fixed it.
Yeah, I fixed it, and anytime I say it now, it's probably just because I'm getting under people's skin on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giraffe. I still don't see the problem with just saying giraffe. People have a problem with that. They're like, no, there's an extra syllable in that. People, yeah, there are the same. Syrup. Single syllable word here, sorry. Instead of syrup, it's just syrup. Pass the syrup.
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
We got 15 months from Howie Sona, who just says it. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that there may have been more to that, but definitely something got cut off. Anyway, Howie, I'll finish the sentence. It is a cold morning. That's an objective fact. We got 300 bits from Jithy Picard. I need some good vibes. I have an interview today at 10:30 a.m., so I'll be getting ready through breakfast stream. Good vibes. Good vibes. We had some folks report back pretty recently about some interview stuff that went well, so I'm hoping that the good vibes continue to work. We'll keep our fingers crossed and send the good vibes your way. And you have to report back if things go well. I mean, you can report back no matter what, I guess. But especially if they go well. 1,000 bits from CK14500 says, good morning. On my way to work. I hope the Advent box has been fun for you too so far.
Yeah.
Yes. I tried to send you a message this morning, and when I did, my phone did not send it. I don't know if Discord was having a problem or if Wi-Fi was having a problem. But yeah, we opened it last night. So the vlog for yesterday will contain it. It's fun. It's always this will be the fourth year that Calvin and Beck have sent the Advent calendar box, which is just daily surprises and fun. So we're looking forward to that. And Anise asked about new mail. This weekend we'll probably record it.
We have to record something else, you said.
It's possible to record two things.
You sure?
I'm relatively certain. Hot grits. Yeah, we have to record more Pikmin this weekend, but we do need to record
Mail.
Mm-hmm. Like, we've recorded half of mail. We have half of it done. We just have to record the other half. And it's not even a half. It's not even like a... It's... compared to the first bit, it's not that much. We just need to actually sit down and do it. Oh, you know what? I was thinking we should do it to give it to Dan.
Today?
But that's the thing. We're going to see Dan today.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have time to do it today.
We don't.
It's coming at some point. I'll just say that. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming at some point. And we need to try and prioritize that so it gets done, though. That needs to happen. 300 bits from Adrian Coelho says, no coffee yet, too tired to make coffee, and forgot to set it up last night. Well, you gotta make some coffee now. You're too tired to make coffee. Can you just like you make a tea? Like put the tea bag in? That's a good coffee alternative. 3 months from DB05. It's a plus. 300 bits from Phantom SVT. I have a phone interview later this afternoon for a postdoc position requesting some good vibes. Good vibes your way as well. Lots of folks doing interviews. Yeah, I hope things go well. And again, we have had a lot of folks doing that recently with, I mean, knock on wood, good results. So we're gonna hold out the good vibes for you as well, Phantom. Hope things go good. 8 months from Pete Cow says 1 month from a Twitch baby, but still have to go out for field work. Happy breakfast. Happy breakfast. Ours was good. Hope you had some good breakfast this morning as well. 30 bits from Peach King in morning. This longtime lurker finally saved enough to cheer. Any plans for a bonus Extra Life Wii stream or saving those totals for next year or something else? Thanks and really enjoyed that event. At this point, not any plans for any bonus Extra Life stuff. As far as saving totals for next year, not impossible, but probably unlikely. Just because it would be really weird for folks arriving at the event next year.
Yeah.
Basically. Because everything would start at certain amounts, and I think it might throw off the... We've never done that before, so it might throw things off a little bit.
I think so.
So, that sort of thing's not impossible, but there'd have to be a lot of discussion amongst the team before we agreed to do that. On that note, though, that reminds me, I got an email from the hospital coordinator. I just got an email from the hospital coordinator, and she had reached out to me prior to the event. Yeah, I had talked to her prior to the event, and she had said that, you know, she was excited and all this stuff. And she's always super supportive, and she was there on the event.
Yeah.
I don't know if folks remember, but she popped in and out of the stream multiple times that day. But she sent another email. She was asking some questions about some stuff. But also wanted to share that she was just absolutely blown away by the community and how caring everyone was and how generous everyone was. And, you know, I was responding to her and I was like, I feel the same. Like, this is not, just so you know, this is not just you being blown away. I was like, I'm also blown away. I felt very strongly that we'd hit the goal. I did not believe that we would blow past the goal by that much.
Yeah.
You know, because we were aiming for 70,000, and the final total was 131,000. Like we nearly doubled it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a high number to double. You know, back when we were raising, you know, 1,500 or whatever, like doubling it a little more doable. But raising 60,000 additional dollars, that's a lot. So, yeah. Yep. And as Brandon says, you can still donate. Yeah. Things are up until the end of the year.
End of the year. Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wanted to make a last minute donation or something, they still can. And I've actually had a few little donations come in here and there. So thank you to everyone who gave during that event, whether during the event itself or prior or even after. That was our 9th year, and we will definitely be doing a 10th. And it'll be Wii again. Spoilers. But we'll be doing the Wii library again. We get 11 months from Ghosty Toasty. He says, due to a change in my schedule today, I'm able to make it live. I've been part of VOD Squad recently, which is fine, but sometimes it's nice to be here for the live show. Yeah. It's nice to, I mean, internet issues notwithstanding, because that can make things problematic. But being able to watch it live, I think, is fun. Brandon says, Wii for 40 years. Yeah, Shay was the one that did the math on that, and it was like, never, with no repeats, we could play, we could do Wii events for like 56 years or something like that, at an average of 30 games a year or something. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I'll be 80 and be like, all right.
Do we have to play?
It's time to play.
Gosh.
I could choose anything. Madden 12. How irrelevant will Madden 2012 be in 2076? Probably pretty irrelevant. 6 months. Hey, that's a lot of beef. 6 months from right now, Spokane says, oh my god, I got my terrier Twitch baby. Congrats on your terrier. And congrats on double plus. 300 bits from Kazumi with the 2020 Unroll Star Rain. Is that the theme for the emotes?
It's like hindsight.
It's 2020 hindsight, so it's just like things that occurred. This interesting. Jules. Madden 2012 is really close to Mayan 2012, which was supposed to be the end of the world. Push pins in the cork board with all the lines drawn. Right in the middle, John Madden, circles with red marker. 300 bits from Smashing Crossing, who just says, Santa! 300 bits from DC Racer. I just walked into my spare bedroom to find my puppy destroyed her pillow. Down and feathers everywhere. At least she had fun? Right?
I guess.
Let's look on the bright side. At least she had... It seems like she had a good time. It's probably fine. Easy cleanup. 500 bits from my nose. Spokane. Sakurai saw Achilles fell because his ankles and designed Kirby without ankles. Thus, the perfect boy was born. That's just ridiculous enough to be somewhat true. You can't take down Kirby. He doesn't have ankles. 2 months from Lifrel, who says, finally able to watch another stream live due to having leave. Work is heavily involved in developing a COVID antibody test in the UK. Learned a lot over this, but man, it's nice to be away for a bit and recharge. Yeah, and I often find that you don't realize how badly you need the recharge until you step away. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times you're when you're in it, when you're in work and you're just like work. It's only when you step away where you're like, ooh. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was working hard. So yeah. There's a lot of good in being able to step back and just breathe for a little bit. We get 300 bits from Summer Essentia. I'm done with both of my exams for this semester, so now I have Christmas vacation. Hoping I did well myself, and sending good vibes to anyone who still has schoolwork and exams. Well, I hope you did well as well. And yeah, good vibes to all the folks that are finishing up school. A few weeks left for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks left. Also, well timed, Jules.
Pollo! Ankles!
Ooh. I don't know, man. If that becomes one of like Kirby's phrases in one of the next
Ankles.
games.
It's 10 a.m. Santa's coming.
You can't cut me down, no ankles, pollo!
Anyway, Jules, thank you. Satsy says, run the beans. Okay.
I want to run the beans.
Oh, you can run the beans. Weren't we going to let Thomas do it? It's too late. Did they actually run?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because remember, was it Tuesday that they...
I don't know.
I think it was Tuesday we got the little caution sign.
Oh, yeah. It was that or Thursday last week.
Yeah, that happened at some point. Anyway, beans. Thank you to all the patrons. And also, for my patrons that haven't seen it, there is a new Patreon video posted last night. Talks about some of the recent goings-on. Recommended viewing, I would say. 10 months from Wolf. Thank you. 300 bits from the Dark Dude. Hopefully the rest of the year treats you all well. I'm hopeful. I mean, also sorry, we need better music for talking about happy things. Also, just compare, like, mentally comparing it to like previous months, I feel like it will objectively be better than some of the previous months. It certainly won't. Like, I have a hard time believing that December would be the worst month of the year, knowing everything that's happened this year. And I know that life finds a way to surprise sometimes, but I feel pretty hopeful about how the year will end. So, crossing my fingers. Mr. Deathkill says, don't jinx it. Well, as Brandon says, the bar is low. The bar is low, so when the bar is this low, it's just we don't have to hop over it. We just walk over it. And
don't trip on it.
Yeah. Renee says, you finished Fallout. That was huge. I mean, yeah, that's when I look back at 2020, and not for things I remember, honestly, but for accomplishments, that'll probably be the thing, is that hung over me for so long.
Yeah.
That I'm happy about that. There's just, there's more to do, but at least that's done.
Yeah.
Still working on 2018. 300 bits also from Marty Griff 1980. I was writing as email at work while you were talking of Avocado, and just before I sent it, I wrote, "Dear Mr. Avocado, thank God I caught it." I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. Not that I want to alienate anyone from listening to Breakfast Stream, but if you're writing something, you gotta be careful. Just anyone who's writing something, just please promise me that you will reread it. Just please, even if it's just a short, quick email, just double check it before you write a bowl of delicious hot grits as your sign off. Anyway, that I got the spreadsheet together. We've got the numbers. Everything looks good. A bowl of delicious hot grits. Anthony, send. Anthony, the numbers looked great. Just real curious why you signed off your email with a bowl of delicious hot grits. Sorry, Robert. I was just craving a bowl of delicious hot grits. 500 bits from Moogle Hearts, who says, hey, grandparents. I used to watch the various channels from 2012 to 2014 back when I was way younger, but came across the channels again a few days ago and just had to start watching. It's been a great time watching again, and I'm glad that I am. Thanks so much for being awesome, and I hope you both have a great holiday. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think one of the fun things for me about doing this for so long is you certainly have folks that are around for the entire duration, right? But quite often you get folks that disappear for a little bit and then show up again. And I notice that too, because whenever I'm reading comments, there will be names that I recognize from a long time ago, and I'll start seeing again. I'll be like, oh, hey, you're back. And sometimes folks comment and they're very surprised.
That you've remembered them?
That, or they're very surprised that we're still around. To be quite honest, they'll be like, wow, it's been a while and I can't believe you're still here, you're still doing this. And I'm like, sometimes I feel the same. I also can't believe I'm still doing this. But it's fun. It's fun. And I think it'd be very surprising now if someone hasn't been here in a few years, because we're doing Twitch now.
Yeah.
So they suddenly show up and it's like, oh, we eat bread. Thanks for watching us eat bread. Anyway, 300 bits from Forwolf, it says, speaking of writing what you hear, I've learned from my friends in voice chat that apparently I whisper a lot of what I type aloud to myself unconsciously.
I have to stop myself from doing that on Saturdays when we do game night.
If you're writing something?
Sometimes, yeah.
Huh. I actually know a few people who do this. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that they do this, but I have a few people I know that if I'm talking to them and I'm telling like a very passionate story about something where I'm like and then I said this or whatever. Sometimes they will, like, very faintly mouth what I'm about to say. Like, if their brains are, like, also figuring out what I'm about to say, I'd be like, I told him, I'm not coming back. Like, I'll watch their mouths be like, and then they'll immediately follow that up with like, yeah. Like it, I've actually seen a few different people that I know do that. I don't know if other people have had that experience either with themselves or with others, but I've noticed that.
I had a great uncle who always had to read things out loud. If he was in a car going somewhere, he would have to read every sign out loud.
As you're like going by.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I could see how that could be annoying on long car trips.
Yeah.
Caution, children at play.
But it was my great uncle Herbie, so.
Oh, of course it was Herbie.
Yeah.
So, my best Herbie impression. Caution, children at play.
Well, that wasn't too bad.
It wasn't awful. Didn't get to spend too much time with Herbie. He had a very interesting
way of talk. Cadence. Yeah.
Very interesting rhythm in his speech.
Yeah.
19 months from Scrumdunger, who says squishy pizza croutons.
On the salad.
Picotron XE gives a sub to Otto Chaz. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Picotron. 30 bits from Anne, who says, no, but you know what legitimately does go well with salad? Pot stickers.
I've seen that. 6
to 8 pot stickers on top of a big old salad is a full and relatively healthy meal. I guess I could see that. For me personally, I really like eating pot stickers with,
rice.
Sure, but I was going to say the sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, whether that's like gyoza sauce or soy or something like that. And, if it's on a salad, you're not doing that. Mm-hmm. Unless you put that, like, on the salad. I like them with ponzu, too. Can you put ponzu on salad? Would that taste good?
I mean, it's basically like lemony soy sauce. Yeah.
I've never done that. There's a lot of folks asking about pot stickers. Have you guys seriously never had pot stickers?
They have a lot of different names.
Pot stickers, dumplings, gyoza, other names. Pot stickers probably the most common.
Maybe.
Okay, now we're getting some O's. Just different names for different things. Yeah, pot stickers, dumplings are probably a better... Now,
See, they are dumplings. That's not what I think of when I hear dumpling.
Pierogies.
They look similar.
That's similar, though. It's not usually...
It's the totally different
filling.
Shell and filling.
Yeah.
But they look similar.
It's all in the same family of food.
Dumplings, yes.
Yeah, if you had one, you've more or less had another. Not David Lynch says ravioli. I really just like how I'm not fully disagreeing with you. Like, I'm like, not that wrong.
Yeah, pierogies are potato.
Oh, I really... Man, if you... Shoot, if you fry a ravioli...
You've never had fried ravioli?
No.
Oh. I'm pretty sure it's a Midwest thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like deep fried ravioli.
There's a lot of similarities. Like, if you don't fry it, then I can start to be like, eh. But if you fry a ravioli, shoot.
Brandon says St. Louis dish. See,
Man.
I didn't know it was anywhere other than Wisconsin because my university would do it.
Toasted ravioli is definitely a Midwest thing. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that. But I can envision it.
How do you describe fried ravioli? Well, it's ravioli and it's breaded and deep fried. And it looks like a little fried ravioli. They're...
Holy crap. Yeah, I want that. I don't want that now. Because we just finished having...
I don't know where you would get it. Because I only ever had it at the cafeteria. When I would go to DeBow.
It doesn't sound like it would be bad. Like it takes something and just fries it. It's hard to dislike things.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's hard to take something and fry it and then be like, this made it worse.
Do you have a sauce with them? My university would just put it on spaghetti.
Trying to think.
They look like little fried chicken nuggets, but they're ravioli. Sometimes you just like put them as like a side and throw tomato sauce on them.
I'm thinking with something like that, as long as it wasn't so hot you couldn't hold, that would dip in the marinara.
Yeah.
Although at some point you're starting to just get into cheese stick territory.
Yeah, but there's like the noodle in there too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If you think about it, any food in the world, and you're only a few degrees from that just becoming a different food. The minute that you start playing with it a little bit, you're like, oh wait, now it's this food. Because I was like, oh, just dip it in the marinara and eat it. Because it'd be like, yeah, cheese and stuff, that'd be really good. And then my brain's like, you're describing a cheese stick. Just go to an Applebee's. All right, moving on. 25 months from Cassie. Thank you, Cassie. 300 bits of Nixelpad. Now, some people might consider this a problem, but you decide. We're cuddling, and then Artemis the kitten, bless her cute little soul, decided I didn't deserve my left arm anymore and designated it for the sacrifice of being lain on. Your thoughts on the matter? Keep in mind, I am left-handed. These are the rules.
Yeah.
When you get a pet, I think especially a cat, it's just part of it. It's just part of it. Wherever they lay, you're like, you're precious and an angel, and you do whatever you want.
Uh-huh.
There's absolutely been times where I've stayed in the same position to allow Kepler Sagan to be comfortable, and I can actively feel like this is going to hurt me. I am going to feel pain, and then I just stay in that position for a while, and then eventually they move, and then I'm like, I really hurt. But was it worth it? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just what you do. Everyone's got to live their life some way. 30 bits from Prince. He says, so I just woke up to Stephen George saying something about telling Chaz things. What's going on? Stayed up till 3 doing art, then accidentally stayed up till 5 with YouTube and Discord. So slow down, I need to catch up. It sounds like you might need a nap today. Which is fine. Every once in a while you need a nap. But if you stayed up till 5, just a little snooze. It's like a little... Doesn't even have to be a long one. Just at some point you get tired and be like, it would take 30 minutes. 400 bits from Gamer Girl. Says, hey Stephen Amell, my dad tested positive for COVID. I got tested yesterday. Can I get good vibes from you guys in chat that my results are negative? Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Yeah, we just in the last week, an astounding number of friends and family tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of people that we know.
I can count like 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're in a similar boat where like a lot of folks, are testing positive. And again, the prognosis on things for a large majority of people is good. So we're, just kind of crossing our fingers. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So I hope that your results are negative. I hope that your dad may feel crummy for a bit, but will otherwise be fine. And good vibes to both of you, to our friends and family, and see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess. Hopefully everything will be good. We got 12 months from Moonlit Boulevard. That's a year. Good timing on that. Hooray for 12 months. I can't believe it's already December. This year has been very stressful and continues to be. I hope you are both doing well. And as always, thanks for the amazing content that has made this year a lot easier to get through. You're welcome. You're welcome. We've had fun.
Yeah.
We've had fun creating this year. And, you know, for as much as people appreciate it getting their minds off of the year, you also have to understand that from our perspective, making it gets our minds off of the year too. So there's an advantage to staying busy. Like, I just need to focus. It's helped a lot. We get 300 bits from Pickletron. Good vibes to those who need them, and also good luck for those doing finals, and everyone should get extra sleep. Yep. If Thomas was here, he'd be shouting that from the top of a mountain. If you're doing exams, make sure you sleep.
Yeah.
It's arguably more important than studying. Like, you need to study, but, like, don't stay up all night and cram. Getting rest is more beneficial than staying up all night and just trying to cram it all in. You'll do better if you get an adequate night's rest. 500 bits from Full Metal Grizz98 says, Nintendo 64! That's it. 500 bits on that spell calm. Hello, Grandma. Have you seen Vanessa Stockard's sweet little kitten painting? It's a fantastic little Ghibli dust mote cat.
I don't think I've seen it.
As with most things on Breakfast Stream, tweet it at Mal.
Or you.
Or me, yeah.
If it's for me.
Well, yeah, like, don't tweet things for me to Mal. It's harder for me to see them.
You said, like most things, tweet them at Mal, and I was
oh,
like...
well, I don't... You know what I mean. Whoever it's for, tweet it at us. We're probably most likely to see it.
Yeah.
On Twitter. Brent says you can also add both of them if both apply. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just a matter of who sees it first, and we tell the other person, we're like, hey, you see this?
Yeah.
Jess says, tweet all of your books at Thomas. Do it. He loves it. 11 months from Joe Trey says, I'm almost to a year. It's so much fun here, and I can't wait for all the new stuff coming up. I'm excited. 2021, I was hoping that the end of 2020 would be that there would be some new big stuff for Twitch on our end. Couldn't quite get there, but that just means that 2021 will be even bigger. And I'm okay with that. So look forward to that. There's undoubtedly some really fun and good stuff coming down the pipeline for next year then. 18 months from Dr. Luigi. Last month, I wished for good vibes on my final exams, and I'm glad to say that they went well. Provided there are no bureaucracy issues, I basically have a maths degree now and should be starting a master's degree next year.
Congratulations.
Congrats. You will be a math master. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Especially from someone who is, what's lower than a math master? Well, I mean like lower and lower and a few lower. That's where I'm at.
I was going to say, you?
Ooh.
You're better at simple math than I am, though. I understand, like, the algebra and geometry stuff, but, like, I can't do times tables in my head.
Yeah.
You're good at that. And adding and subtracting?
A math imbecile.
I know how to do them with a calculator. I just can't do them quickly in my head.
Yeah, the quick math I'm good at. And also, to some degree, if there's... I don't know how to explain it. Like, even if the numbers are bigger, quickly doing, like, addition, subtraction, and just figuring out, like, general, like, oh, this or that.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if we're at the store and we're trying to figure out, like, what the best deal on something is, like, I can look at the price
in the volume or whatever.
In the volume,
yeah.
And I can very quickly figure out, like, oh, you know, I may not know the exact numbers. I'll be like, oh, well, that's better. This is better. That's better. So I can do that. But don't ask me to add. Letters don't belong in math. I don't know where people got this wild idea.
See, I love algebra and geometry. But once we got into, like, trigonometry, that was too much.
Yeah. I just nod because I never took trig. 300 bits from Kazuumi. Oh, that's another of the 2020. It's a suspicious elf. It's kind of cute. 300 bits from DC Racer. Grandpa, my actual degree is mechanical engineering. I'm getting my master's with research in corrosion mitigation via nanoparticle treatments. I'm not going to figure out the syllables on all of that, but it sounds like you still get to hover around the 17 area.
I think that's cool.
It is cool. People have such cool things. I'm so proud of all of you. You're doing just like...
You proud of your grandkids?
I'm proud of my grandkids. They're going out in the world. They're doing cool things. They're helping folks. They're trying to make the world a better place. You're all great. You're all great. Hey, Jules, with Cicada Loggers. Yahaha, Jules. 300 bits from Nixelpad says, Legend of Mao, Breath of the Forbidden. Also, I heard you this morning telling folks that you were playing Breath of the Wild.
Someone said something about tomorrow being Breath of the Wild while I was trying to say Red Dead Redemption. And I saw it, and then I said it and meant to say the other thing.
I was downstairs getting my toast ready, and Mal was like, I've been busy playing Breath of the Wild, and I was like...
Red Dead.
I was like, when?
Red Dead.
Behind my back? Like,
No.
just secretly?
No.
Looking forward to that, though.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow. Ooh, and what are we gonna do? I don't even know. I actually don't know. I actually don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow.
Secret breath.
Guess we'll find out. 3 months from Mooks Woost. Who says, good morning. This week has been wild with finally graduating and becoming an engineer, and then got offered a job. Hope your week has been good as well.
Congratulations.
That's a good week. That's a really good week. Graduating and then getting a nice. Nice. Also, shout out to all our engineers.
There's a lot of them.
It's starting to sound like we got a lot of them. It's certainly starting to sound like we have a lot of them. Paul's not here this morning, but
No.
Polly.
Paul is in that camp.
Yeah, Paul is in that camp. Paul would rally behind all of you as well. Good job, engineers. 300 bits from Goldmage says, so I'm DMing a campaign, and we had our first session, and none of my players died. Anyway, I was wondering if you could each come up with a small weird item with a weird magic to it for me. Sure. How about a like a kazoo? So, because I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume that you have a bard character with you, although it's not required. It's a kazoo, and whenever you blow into it, the kazoo throws one random word. So, like, you blow into the kazoo, and there's one word where it sounds like someone saying one random word, but like 10 feet away. So you can use it to make it sound like there's something happening like 10 feet away. So you blow in it and it's like, balloons. And everyone's like, who said that? Garbage truck. What? Who said that? Also, what is a garbage truck? I think that's a pretty fun magic item. Do you have one?
How about a writing utensil that can write a hint about something, but it's like one word?
Is it one-time use?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a magic pen, and the pen like takes control of your hand, like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
It writes one word, and then it like disintegrates or something.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And it could be a hint about like a hidden something, or like a way to defeat some sort of boss or something.
Yeah.
Or a secret.
Oracle
or
pencil.
a secret about some random NPC. I don't know.
Oracle pencil is I like that one. Is that Fuzzy Pickle who said that first? I think so. That's a fun. That's a fun item.
Santa's coming in.
I need to defeat my boss. Gotta get this back. Anyway, Golden Age. Hope that helps. Coming. That's one of the most fun parts of
Santa's coming in.
DMing, for sure, is just coming up with little weird things like this, and then, that's part of it, and then the other part is letting the players use that in a way that you'll never expect. That's the group storytelling aspect of D&D that works so well. That it's so much fun. I'll get 100 bits from Gamer Girl. Gamer Girl, thank you. 1,500 bits from Pickletron says, so I had an idea for a bumper where Grandpa Stephen is recalling the moments from Home Alone 2 as if it was him, and then the grandkids play the pranks on their dad, Jules. Trying to think if there's anything where, like, we could remake some of the pranks in Home Alone 1 or 2 in a setting that, like, wouldn't kill anyone. Probably from Home Alone 1. Home Alone 2, all of the stuff is, like, would kill you.
See, I don't remember. I remember the basic plot of the movie, but only because I played the Genesis version. I don't remember the pranks or...
Well, it starts with Kevin McAllister throwing bricks off of a roof and hitting people in the face. So, like, that's... It starts pretty high up there. If you actually compare, like, some of the stuff that happens, in Home Alone 1 versus 2, it really ramps up in the violence factor.
See,
Anyway.
in the Genesis game, it starts in an airport, and you collect luggage, and then you go into where the luggage gets sorted, and it's, like, all automated, and you run through there.
Oh, but aren't they chasing you the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what happens in the movie. 300 bits.
You ride balloons at some point in the first level.
300 bits from Danny X6 who says story time. So Sorry, I'm scrolling down. I scrolled down because I was like, is there more? And there actually is. When I scrolled down, there's another message here from Danny. It says, here's the thing. If you... That's it! That's the whole thing! It reminds me of... So anyway, I started blasting. Thank you, Danny. 300 bits from Chill Days has said, so I had a Steven dream, TM, the other night. I was watching a vlog, but it was younger you, probably around high school age, talking about the future and how scary that was. But then you said, thankfully, descendants exist, and panned to a mirror where current day you looked back. I was my own descendant. The future's scary, but that's not a me Steven problem. That's a future Steven problem. He'll have to deal with it. We have 13 months from LB308. It says, hi, grandparents. Hi, LB. 1050 bits from LB also. That's the reindeer exilation. Is exilation a word? Like the act of exiling? Exilation?
I don't know.
Never had to use that. It doesn't sound like a word. Like, there's exiling. Like, the exiling. Let's call it an exorcism. Reindeer exorcism to stop their heads from spinning. 21 months from Penguin Frog says, hey, this happened again. I'm so close to 24 months. You are close. What? February? February. You're getting there. 8 months from the Bassoonist who says, Stanley Parable reference, 8. 8. Good job, Stephen. I'm back home for the semester. And good vibes for all my fellow college students having finals soon. Keep up the great content and happy December, y'all. Thank you, Bassoonist. Appreciate that. 24 months from Unbent Reagent. 2 years. You guys are the best. Here's to hopefully many more. Thank you. Congrats on 2 years. 1500 bits from Toaster Wolf. It says, hey, grandparents, the new expansion for World of Warcraft came out last week, and they gave us the power to one-shot people via Goomba Stomp. This has become one of my new favorite ways to PvP. I would assume that makes PvP a little weird and unbalanced if you can one-shot people. But I also have never played... Well, I've not never played World of Warcraft, but I've played so little and remember...
Very little.
Basically none of it, so I'll essentially say I haven't played any. Neat. I imagine that a PvP in that sort of game would be very wild. Especially if you're playing on a server that supports that, like where you're just walking and all of a sudden like you're in a fight. It could be exhilarating, but also very scary. I've talked to some friends that played the Souls series and have talked about like some of the scariness of all of a sudden getting jumped by another player in the world. We get 301 bits from Pickletron with the bagel, the Luca gift star ring. 15 months from Thea.x. Oh, thank God I didn't miss all the breakfast with grandparents. Just finished my last exam, and I think I did not horrible. Good luck to everyone else who's suffering how I have suffered, and happy holidays. You guys going to decorate it all? First off, I hope your exam went well. We're going to put... Oh, we were going to do that Saturday, weren't we? You never said anything about it.
We were busy.
Okay. We have lights to put on the outside of the house. Like we did last year. And that's it. If you saw the Thanksgiving vlog, my mom decorated. And as long as nothing changes, we'll be over there for Christmas. So we get to enjoy that, So that's good. But as far as decorating in here, in the house, I don't think we will.
No.
We don't usually.
I want to. It's just... I don't want to move a bunch of, like a big box for a tree and stuff.
Yeah.
When we move. So I'm waiting till we have our own place. And, what if we get a tree that's too tall? So...
You know what might be... You know what could be a nice little thing is just putting up, what do they call where it's just a little thing of, the green,
the... garland?
Garland, yeah. We'll get one single garland of not even a long length and put it somewhere. And we'll be like, happy holidays, look at that. Then it'll be inside the house. How about that? We got a sub from GhostDog612. Welcome. Welcome to you. 30 bits from Shy. Speaking of being around a while, yesterday's Twilight Princess moment reminded me of the first videos of you guys I watched back in 2014. It was a few years before I really watched regularly, but those Twilight Princess videos really put you on my radar. Weird to think about your first experiences with a YouTube channel. It's bizarre to me that I'm still posting moments from Twilight Princess. We now have... I realized I was going to say, we now have standards. We now have standards for the moments that we post, whereas it used to be any length. Now we have a certain internal requirement that the moment really needs to be 30 seconds, or at least pretty close to it. And I actually have a lot of Twilight Princess moments that are short. So at some point I may gather them up and make them into a montage. So that might happen at some point, but yeah, there's still Twilight Princess moments. That's one of the things that I've been very adamant about for Dan. I've been like, hey, before the end of the year, let's really, really try to make some new moments because we have a huge, huge list of series that do not have moments made for them, dating back a bit. So I'm hopeful that that'll get done. I'm hopeful that that'll get done because there's a lot of series that just do not have moments yet. So, how are there still so many Twilight Princess and Skyrim moments? Skyrim, both of them were very
long series.
Well, Skyrim was really long, but both of them were really conducive to comedy. There's some series that just aren't. They're just not. How many moments did we get out of Edith Finch?
Yeah.
Probably not many, if any. It's just that sort of series. It's just there's not going to be a lot of individual things. To the Moon's another one. Mm-hmm. How many moments do we get out of To the Moon? Probably
Dead
not.
Had a couple.
Yeah.
But that.
Yeah. So there's certain series that just they work a lot better. They work a lot better. Are you gonna do more for Tulip? No. Tulip's moments are done. All of the Tulip moments have been posted. And there's a fair bit.
Yeah.
There's a fair bit. But generally games where you get a little more freedom, things that are a little less story-driven, tend to work out better for comedy. So, yeah. Oh, don't be sad. There's a lot of them for Tulip. It's just that we've
released them all.
Yeah, we've just released them. Yeah. Tulip was a long time ago, so they're just all done. There is only so many funny things in the series, and we've We've already released them. And as Noah says, you can just watch the LP because the whole thing is really funny. I'll get 300 bits from Chai, who says, my favorite pierogi is the classic arcade bullet hell, Pierogius. It's funny. 300 bits from Mortally Crafty. Good morning, grandparents. It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Hope your birthday's going good so far. 7 months from Bubbles. 7 months. Wow. Thanks, guys, for having breakfast with us. Don't read if you're squeamish. I think I could share this. I cut my finger making bagel sandwiches a couple months ago. 5 hours... A couple months ago. 5 hours and 3 stitches later, I'm almost completely healed now. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It took a few months, but it's finally healing up. Yeah, and this is a good timing to remind folks as we get closer to the holidays. You're in the kitchen making some things. Be careful. Be careful. Do your just take your time. I think that's the big takeaway. Is like take your time. And I tell Mal that all the time. She'll get in the kitchen and she's like working on pie or whatever. I'm like, hey, just there's no rush. Like Renee says, don't be chopping them fingers. And pies are a lot less good with blood. I just, I've had it both ways. And it's just,
No, you haven't.
It's not as good. It's not as good. It's a joke.
I've never seriously cut myself. Or some wood.
No, you burn yourself. That's
Yeah.
that's your vice. And how, I don't know, but it happens
Just
a
touch
lot.
things that are too hot.
But don't. When it's hot, go no. I'll put on the special gloves. We got the special gloves. We got 1,020 bits from Elby. Elby, thank you. Appreciate that. 5 months from Chiron8472. Love you guys. Stay classy. We'll do. As best as we can, at least. 301 bits from Squid with the Nico B lamp star ring. And 300 bits from Colin says, if we count minors, I'll have 17 at the end of
Wow.
spring 2022. Finance and economics with minors in banking and psychology.
That's cool, though.
That is cool. I guess the banking one makes a lot of sense. Finance and economics, minors in banking. The psychology is just kind of like a little bonus. It's like right at the end there, it's like... Er. The psychology of banking. Think about it. That's neat, though. I feel like I got pretty close to having the necessary stuff to do a minor, and but I didn't do it. I think I had looked into it, and then I was like, Did you minored?
I minor. I have a minor in graphic design.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I think I had looked at what it would take to do that, and then I ended up not doing it. I was like, I don't need a piece of paper. I'll just do it myself.
I need some water.
Okay.
Because I've been out of coffee for a while.
Sure. Miss Jackie Lynn gives a sub to XX Distrox. Thank you. 300 bits from Shy says, weird items with weird magic. Easy. The deck of many things. Nothing says crazy fun like game-breaking effects. Now, that's part of the fun of D&D. Is your players attempting to break the game, the DM attempting to keep it together and have things make sense. And then also giving the players a little leeway, too. 306 bits from Line Rider. Double major in political science and mathematics with a concentration in international relations. 31 syllables? Yeah, I mean, if you use concentration, like if you have your major and then you show what you focused in, you do get some extra syllables there. Also, double majoring probably helps too. I'm sticking with film. 1. I was about to say another way of doing it, like video, but I guess that's more syllables. I can do 1, 2, or 3. Film, movie, or video. They all work. 300 bits from Gold Major says, thanks for the ideas. Here's a story for you. The wolf ate the giraffe in the garage with some sorrel after pouring some syrup on it. The thermobibabics of the meal were superlatively, sublimely superb. You could have written that normally, and I probably would have pronounced all of it the same way. It's fine. It's fine. Aaron Efron, I majored in movie. It's not wrong. It sounds stupid, but that's not wrong. What'd you go to school for? I majored in movie. Oh. Yeah, there you go. Cinema. Cinema. Cinema just sounds... It sounds fancy. Movie? 100 bits from the Dark Dude. Thank you. And then 300 from Danny X6 who says, not sure why, but when... That's it. There's nothing else there. Thank you, Danny. Motion pictures. See, motion pictures, using the phrase motion pictures, it just takes me back to like 1955. When I think motion, that's what I think of when I think of motion pictures. I'm like, oh, motion pictures. There's a lot of ways to talk about, you know, video, about film. There's so many different ways. Motion pictures, moving picture shows, film, cinema, video.
Oh, you got 3 alerts. I
did. Oh. You and Mel started a new TV show. It's called Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a fairly polarizing opinion. There's a lot of folks that are not huge fans of games like Red Dead or Uncharted because they are a lot of cutscenes, a lot of, especially in like Red Dead and some of the Rockstar games. We're like, yeah, it's a game, but it's like, stand here. It's like, well, can I stand here? And the game's like, no.
Get in this yellow part on the map.
There's a small spot. And the characters are having a conversation like, Arthur, go get behind that rock. And it's like, well, what if I want to stand over here? Arthur, get behind that rock. I swear to God, if you get behind that other rock, we cannot continue. So I understand. Still probably one of my top 5 games. Anyway, let's probably wrap up.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
Yes.
More Pikmin.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's also fair. Yeah, I haven't been playing the game. I've just been watching Mal play. So for me, it's super relaxing. There's some stress. There's definitely been a little stress watching Mal play the game. I love you. I love you. There's absolutely been a little bit of like, little clenching. There's backseat. Listen, in my defense, there's backseat, and then there's me mentally screaming, please look at your HUD. 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 Please. And then she dies, and I'm like,
I haven't died a lot lately.
That's because I finally got to the point where I'm like, Mal, health. So she'll eat something. And like, I get it to some degree. Like in Red Dead specifically, where your health is this big on the screen. So it's not really in your face about it. So I get it, but also like, it's very hard as a you know, someone watching in that position, because I don't want her to die.
Yeah. And
for the longest time I wasn't saying anything, but after a few deaths I was like, is it alright if I just like shout health at some point? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like,
when
okay.
I've played Half-Life 2, you had to yell reload at me.
That's just a problem that you have in games. You do it you don't realize that you do it in Red Dead, but you do it in Red Dead 2. Mal doesn't reload guns. Like, there's an advantage.
When I'm done with the clip or whatever, it does it for me.
See, in between fights and games, I reload the gun, because then you don't have to reload in the middle of a fight. Mal's brain does not do that. So she gets into a firefight, and she's like, gun! Oh. It's like taking all the bullets, like as she's reloading the gun. And I'm like, see, if you do the reload when there's not enemies, then you don't have to reload. We haven't worked that one out. It's fine. It's fine. We never finished BioShock. It was not a good year for BioShock, admittedly.
No.
I think we'll get back around to it at some point.
Yeah.
But Mal's getting really far in Red Dead. Okay, let me read these. 300 Bits from Shy says, sometimes you hear a name of something and go, man, that sounds really derivative and unoriginal. Couldn't come up with something more creative? And then I look at words like movie and go, oh, right. This has always been a thing. Everyone just doing their best. 500 I know spell calm. It says, if you ever start watching movies again, I recommend Trial of Chicago 7 on Netflix. It's a good law/history movie. We finally got to the point where we're watching some. It's not movies, but I know we've talked a little bit about our Fruits Basket adventure, which is anime, not a film, but and how like over the past, we've watched 15 episodes over the past 15 weeks. And I think that'll probably finally start increasing because we got it on the Apple TV now. And because before we were airplaying it and it was a whole thing. And now it's just, we hit a button and it plays. So we'll probably start watching it. So at least we're watching something.
Yeah.
So that's good. At least we're finally, doing that. 3 months from Misfit9751, who says, 3 months is great. Get the plus. And also 300 Bits from Danny X6 that says, okay, I finally figured out the problem I've been having with cheering today. As long as I... And on that note, more Pikmin today. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
There was a lot that happened yesterday. There's a lot that we had to work on behind the scenes. I didn't get any 2018 stuff out. So we'll just remain hopeful for today that can happen. Otherwise, I sincerely hope that you'll join us
tomorrow.
Hey, this is convenient. Let's be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern when we go back into the wild, playing more Zelda. I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We might throw in Amiibo tomorrow. Maybe that might happen tomorrow. We'll see. Because we don't have any like major points. We've been just kind of working on. We've been in the desert just working very specifically on one thing, and now it'll be like, oh, we can just do whatever. So we'll see. We'll see. Which Amiibo do you have? We have a fairly good group of the Zelda ones. We don't have all of them.
During Extra Life, I counted.
But we have a lot of them.
When everyone was here, not during the actual stream, I counted how many Link Amiibos we have. And it's like 5.
Yeah, we got a lot of the Link ones.
Yeah.
So...
Like, not... we have a lot of Breath of the Wild ones, but we have...
Yeah.
Like, what's the cutesy one? Link to the Past.
Oh.
We have that one, and we have the Breath of the Wild Link. And
Are you talking about Toon Link?
No.
Cutesy?
It's the...
Is there a Link to the Past Amiibo?
Yeah, they released it when the redone Link to the Past came out. Link's Awakening, thank you, 63 Phils.
I was like, what redone Link to the Past?
The Link's Awakening.
A lot of people very suddenly got very interested, like, I would like to play that.
No, the Link's Awakening one.
Okay, that's what you mean.
We have that one, and the Breath of the Wild Link, and the Smash Brothers Link. Yeah, there's a lot of...
We have... The list
just
is on...
Link ones.
The list is online.
Yeah.
StephenGeorge.com/about/collection. That lists our Amiibo, so you can see what we have. And we have bought very little Amiibos. A lot of the Amiibo collection that we have is largely because folks sent them in. And then also when Emil gave us the Switches in Breath of the Wild, he actually gave us a lot of those first Zelda Amiibo. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the ones we have are just because folks sent them into us.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a chance to use them, which is really really neat. So yeah, you can take a look at what we have. We got 2 months from Pink Matima, who says 2 months. Should use that to make Grandpa say something in German. Oh God. You could probably actually read this.
Du weißt, du bist Deutsch. Wenn du 2 big words I can't read. Aussprechen kannst.
You know you're a German when you can say check matchboxes.
Check.
Check matchboxes. I do what I can, which, when it comes to language, is not much. But Mal can, Mal can help you out a little bit.
I took a semester of it.
Help out a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have German ancestry? I think there's a tiny bit, but
I have a bit.
Mal is a little, but you have a little bit more than I do.
Mostly Polish, though.
But I'm astoundingly English, like a lot. I don't remember what we'd taken the ancestry test. And I don't remember what it was, like 70% or something English heritage. So shout out to our English folk. Just give me the tea, put it in my veins. 500 bits from Mr. Game Boy, who says, before you go, I have a good story. One time I'm trying to think of another way to say something, because this is like the verbal equivalent of blue spheres. Couldn't think of another way to say that. I'm like, it's family friendly, it's just breakfast stream. How do we say that? And I'm like, I don't know, I can't figure it out, so I'll just say blue spheres. It's a verbal equivalent of blue spheres. 13 months from Whitaker. Thank you. And then 15 months from Rios. It says 15 months, or as one would say in French, 15 mois. 15? Queensy mois? Brandon dies. It's okay. All right, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. Again, tomorrow night, hope to see you for Zelda if you're able. And otherwise, don't forget, there is a new Patreon video, patreon.com/StephenGeorge. We appreciate the support, and then also there's some information there about like some of the things that are going on. You don't die if you don't acknowledge it. Fair. Y'all have a good one. Oh, before we go, wanted to tell a quick story. So this one time, I'm sorry. That was rude. I actually do have a story I wanted to tell quick. So, it was yesterday morning. So yesterday morning, I get up,